Good evening, everyone. This is Chase Pounds. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing the Allison family of the Titanic. Now, I have been behind in posting videos because I never really finished my Halloween edition. I was supposed to be discussing about the 1973 film The Exorcist, because it's coinciding with the 50th anniversary of when that movie came out. I was thinking about in December I may try to make up for that, and so I've been behind mainly because my video had was full. My phone was full of videos of stories because I was reviewing films, editing films, and I guess looking at videos that I had saved for some time and never deleted them. So it got full and it wasn't able to really filming, wasn't able to record. So I finally back on schedule, trying to make up for videos that have been planned for discussion. And this is a topic I've been trying to discuss since September, but again, I ran into issues that kept him to edit videos, kept him to delete videos, because I didn't think they were good, or either the quality wasn't good, or either the audio it's mainly because the audio is usually overshadowed my voice, where you can't maybe not always hear what I'm saying in some of these videos. But anyway, in this discussion, I'm going to be discussing about the Allison family of the Titanic. Now, I had prior knowledge of the story since I was in grade school, but what renewed my interest was because I was reading another watching another YouTuber's video, another Titanic YouTuber, and he referenced the Allison family. And this video was called Allison Anastasia, and that's what piqued my interest. And in the story, in the particular theories about what became of the family, and particularly I wasn't really planning on doing a video on this topic. I just didn't think it was any need to, but I guess reviewing the video, reading the discussion board, and hearing all the different theories, about what happened, it made me interested in discussing this. Story begins with the Allison. Mostly begins with Hudson Allison. He was I think born in 1883, and he I think his family inherited a newspaper video.
One simple but brilliant.
Inherited a newspaper company, and that's where he earned a living. And actually, I think I heard that he started off as a
brilliant trick to heat your home in 90 seconds and save thousands of dollars on your heating bill this week.
He worked in the store as a store clerk at a local general store. But then I think became the head of a newspaper company, and he married, and this is in Montreal, Canada, and he married a 25-year-old lady by the name of Bess. Bess, who was from Montreal, not from Montreal, I mean from Milwaukee. Usually, I don't think of many notable people from Milwaukee. Because I had family, used to have, at one point had late relatives that lived in Milwaukee. And really, I don't that's the only people from Milwaukee I knew that heard of them from the Titanic. Were from the Titanic. They had two children. One was a girl by the name of Lorraine, and the other one was Trevor. And they I think between 1912 they were vacationing in Europe and were returning home to Montreal with a nanny to take care of the children by the name of Alice Cleaver. And they sat aboard the Titanic in first class with two nannies, which was Alice Cleaver and Sarah Daniels, and I think they had a butler by the name of George, based on what I read on Wikipedia. And during the night of the sinking on April 14, 1912, in the Titanic iceberg, the Allison family was asleep, and they were given orders by the stewards. Their servants were awakened by the stewards I think really how it began was the servants, I guess, felt the ship. They felt the ship strike the iceberg, and were a little, I guess, weary and thought that it was serious, and they tried to wake Hudson Allison, which he became very disgruntled and aggravated as he kept having to tell them that the Titanic was unsinkable, thinking that nothing was serious. But as it turns out, they turns out that he realized that there was a problem at some point and realized that they needed to get on deck. While Sarah Daniels had already made her way into a lifeboat, which was lifeboat 8. Alice Cleaver, I don't know the exact, it's not really known the exact details between Alice Cleaver and Bess Allison, but it said that she grabbed the child, Trevor, and went out into the hallway and boarded the lifeboat. And I guess without Bess Allison's knowledge, so when her husband came back and told her that Allison left with the child, Trevor, not knowing what happened to Trevor, of course, Alice Cleaver took the child into one of the lifeboats, but to Bess Allison and her husband Hudson, it was not known that the baby was safe in the lifeboat, so they assumed that the child was somewhere roaming the ship, or I guess lost. They spent the whole time with their little daughter Lorraine searching the ship to find the baby. At some point, they may have tried to board the lifeboats, but got back out. It's been said that by some accounts that Bess Allison may have gotten into a life, may have tried got into a lifeboat with her daughter Lorraine at one point, but then got out as it was getting ready to be lowered into the water. And I guess reunited with her husband, and both husband, and they I guess decided to stay on board the ship until they found their son Trevor, which they never did. And I guess near to the end, they realized that they needed to get their daughter Lorraine to a lifeboat at the last minute. But by that point, it was too late. Most of the boats had left, so they were left on board the ship. Stranded on board the ship as it was on the sink. And there's no known real about what happened in the final moments, but none of them survived. The wife Bess, the son, the husband Hudson, and the daughter Lorraine both perished. It's been said that the husband's Hudson's body was recovered, but the daughter Lorraine was never found. And there's the pictures. Bess, Allison, and her two children. And this is the couple, Bess and Hudson. And there's a picture from the newspaper of Alice Cleaver. Though both were lost, most of the family was lost, the son and the maid, of course, seek refuge to one of the lifeboats, 11, which was said to be a crowded lifeboat. Which was said to be a crowded lifeboat, and was rescued. Once the ship went down, they were rescued by the Carpathia, as well as Sarah Daniels in Lifeboat 8. And when they reached New York, the baby was claimed by relatives who took refuge of the who took care of the child the rest of his years until at age 18. Trevor was mysteriously poisoned at 18 in 1929. And which I think is a little odd itself about the food poisoning, how it was poisoned, and other odd things about the start of the Allison family is that it was years later that a lady claimed named Lorraine Kramer started to be directly related to the girl Lorraine Allison, who was on the Titanic, claimed that she was the girl from the Titanic. It was never proven. Most people thought it was it's a hoax. Until recent years, it was declared a hoax. In 2013. had to be that year 2013 around Thanksgiving, which is close by this time of year, that I in 2013 was reading an article about this story on the Wikipedia on the Allison family. Ironically, just a week later after they mentioned that the lady identified herself as Hudson, Alice Lorraine Kramer in the 1940s in a radio broadcast claimed that she was Lorraine Allison of the infamous Titanic, which was thought to be false, and that she had survived under an assumed name, and our family had secretly snuck her into a lifeboat. But this again was proven to be false. And so this story particularly, what comes to mind of the story is it's a Titanic film I've seen since I was in grade school. Really, it's the only movie that really features the Allison family. In the Titanic film is the 1996 made-for-TV Titanic. This came out just a year before the infamous James Cameron Titanic with Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. This is what most people are mostly familiar with is the 1997 version with Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. But before the year before that movie came out, as a made-for-TV movie. Most people probably not familiar with it. It starred Catherine Zeta-Jones and Peter Gallagher and George C. Scott, who played Captain Smith of the Titanic. And to most people, to most reviews I read on the internet, and there isn't much reviews on YouTube about this made-for-TV movie, other than it was one called The Laugh. It was like a British YouTuber called The Laughing Cavalier, who did a few videos on this subject. But again, it wasn't. Other than that, there isn't a lot of reviews other than what's articles around the internet, and there isn't that much about the backstory about how the film was made and footages of how the movie was made or anything. But this is the only movie that and I think this is for discussion for another YouTube video on this movie here. But it's the only film that features the Allison story of the Allison family, though this movie is known for its historical inaccuracies, similar to the 1953 Titanic film with Barbara Stanwyck, Clifton Webb. The story of Allison is the portrayal of the Allisons in the the story is falsely portrayed in the film, as such as it doesn't feature the other maids and the servants that was in the that was supposedly on board the Titanic, other than the one nanny, Alice Cleaver. And in the movie, it portrays her as being more, I guess, nervous, like kind of paranoid, nervous lady who at the same time has reoccurring premonitions, going even right at the beginning of the opening credits. It has her having like recurring dreams of looming disaster, which has been known that people had premonitions of the Titanic, but I'm not sure if Alex Cleaver in particular had premonitions. Never been really mentioned. And it also falsely perpetuates a rumor that's always circulated over the years that she was a baby killer, but that's also been lumped with another female killer at the time named Mary Kathleen Cleaver. Though this was Alice Cleaver, There's two different ladies, but they all get lumped together in this story of Titanic. During the final disaster, in much of the headlines in the papers, it was wrongly lumped together that she was the same lady the same baby killer, but she wasn't, and there was nothing mentally wrong with the nanny as depicted in the miniseries. And as I said, the family was Canadian, but in the film they were portrayed as Americans, and the age the girl was in the film wasn't the same. Was a little bit older than Lorraine in real life on the Titanic. And the odd thing at the end, near the end is a scene, at the last scene of the Allison in the movie, and it kind of shows it at the right here in the back. It shows them talking to the captain on deck, and the captain says, "You're still on board." It says, "We need to have the ship searched because we're trying to find our baby." And Captain Smith replies, "We need to," and then the wife replies, "We need to get Lorraine the lifeboat." And the captain replies, "There are no lifeboats." And the family is shocked and sad and full of panic. And the husband replies, "Please, you gotta help us. A collapsible, you must gotta help us." The captain says, "Sorry, there's nothing I can do." Even though there was two collapsible boats, and that's been one of the theories that they may have tried to get into one of the last collapsible boats that, as the ship was going down, were washed off the decks. But there was a collapsible boat. So I don't know why. It didn't make sense why the captain said there was no lifeboats. And it actually shows it later later in the film, after the ship goes down, when people are struggling in water, they show the overturned collapsible boat. So to me, that didn't make sense. And the Allisons were also featured in the 2012 Titanic miniseries during the 100th centennial. I saw that made some of the part of the miniseries, and I can't remember the Allison family being featured in it. A lot of people criticize that miniseries as well, because I guess the order of the how the film was how the documentary was put together, and the way I described the miniseries is, it was seemed like everything just happened too fast. Everything was out of order, scrambled. It was like recursion flashbacks. The beginning, then it starts at the sinking, goes back to the beginning, shows the same scenes again. And that was my take on it. It was different take on the miniseries. It was different from Titanic films that used to have been seen as a kid, and it seemed like everything happened in slow pace. The sinking was in slow pace. This seemed to have everything happen fast. And they weren't featured in the Allisons weren't featured in the 97 James Cameron film that everyone's familiar with. Though I read on Wikipedia, there's a scene, like a brief scene, that shows a girl looking out on deck. A girl looking up at the sky because they are firing rockets. She looks at the rockets, and some people are speculating that could have been Lorraine Allison, but it's never been proven. There was a similar scene like that in the 1996 miniseries where the family's on deck and they both stare at the sky at the rockets, and the girl replies, "Look at the lights, the pretty lights." I think that's what she said. So I'm not sure they borrowed elements from that. And I think they were also featured in the early silent film Night Eyes as well. And as I said, there was a theory about that they may have escaped in one of the collapsible boats. As the ship was going down, the lifeboat was being washed off the decks, and so still the chances were still very slim, as most people in that lifeboat didn't survive. Some people were washed, probably as were hurled, as the boats were washed off the deck into the water. The boat kind of hurled in the air, knocking people out of the boat into the water, drowning some people. As well, you also have to worry about the suction as people were being pulled down by the water, pulled down as the ship was going down. It may have been caught by imploding windows or portholes, or even been the danger of being crushed